Benny Wen Benny Wenda is here to talk to us about West Papua and their fight for freedom. So, for the past 60 years, West Papua has been under one of the world's most brutal but littlest known occupations. More than 100,000 West Papuans are internally displaced as a result of escalating Indonesian militarization linked to um, a deforestation program that India is undertaking in tandem with multinational corporations like BP and Unilever. Um, and also, West Papua is home to the world's largest gold and copper mine, and 3 million hectares of their forest is currently being destroyed for sugarcane and rice production, which is the largest deforestation project in human history. And Benny here today is the president of the United Liberation Movement for West Papua, which joins the three main pro-independence factions across the nation. And after escaping from an Indonesian prison in the early 2000s, Benny fled to the UK, where he founded the Free West Papua campaign and then the United Liberation Movement for West Papua. So he's going to speak a bit about the history of West Papua, his life, activism, and imprisonment, and a bit about the current situation. Um, so I'll pass over to Benny now.
Wow. Firstly, I would like to thank you to Roger, Hallam, and the team, and also inviting me to join this event. And on behalf of people of West Papua, again, I want to thank you for having me. Yes, firstly, as you know, West Papua is, I would say, the occupied territory, and West Papua is a western half of the New Guinea, north of Australia, 500 kilometers from north of Australia. West Papua is a second, New Guinea Island is the second largest island in the world. And this island was before uh, arrival of the British and Netherlands, Dutch. West Papua was one island, which is New Guinea. There are people living there, inhabitants almost 15,000 years. But sadly, when colonial power arrived in West Papua, which is the islands once, but the split eastern half called Papua New Guinea is an independent country of Papua New Guinea now under the at the time under the British and then later on Australia admin. And western half is used to the Dutch colony. I always describe these islands as just like cake. Two men conquered this land and they discovered that they're full of gold and copper and timber and mineral resources, and then let's share it just like cake. Some boy went to the shop and bought the McDonald and bring it and then share it. That's what happened, the history of the island of New Guinea. Those people are very similar, same people, just because of the two colonial power divided us until today. Sadly, eastern half of the island split, and the western half is split. So now we that colonized, and then almost uh, decade we under the Indonesia rule now. So 1949, Indonesia gained independence from the Netherlands. So West Papua never part of the Indonesia because the Dutch argue that Indonesia is a Malay. Papuans are connected to the Aboriginal, Indigenous Aboriginal, and cross the Pacific. As you know, Pacific is made up of Micronesia, Polynesia, and Melanesia, which is Melanesia made up of the Papua New Guinea, Solomon Island, Vanuatu, New Caledonia, Fiji. So the Dutch argue that these are they are connected, nothing to do with Indonesia. This is more connected to the Melanesian people. So they're holding West Papua as under the Indonesia Dutch rule almost 20 years. Indonesia got independent 1949, and since then we've been separate. But sadly, Indonesia always argue that all the rest of the Dutch Indies or Dutch New Guinea are automatic to us. So that's the Indonesia claim. If Indonesia not give the Dutch not give West Papua to us, they're threatening the Americans and British and Australia. We will join Cold War if you not give West Papua. So West Papua become like trade interest of the geopolitics and interest of the our politics in the regions. So we've been sacrificed sake of the economies and politics in the regions. So Indonesia used a Cold War politic to take over West Papua. Then they're threatening all the allies and with the allies with the Soviet Union. So then what happened was Indonesia very cleverly played this game. And then what happened? Uh, America sent a message to the Netherlands so that handed over West Papua to Indonesia. Now, 1962, so-called New York Agreement was signed between Netherlands, Indonesia, US, without any West Papua involved. So this is the historical point of view I want to explain a little bit, how why West Papua still continue to fight. So it was a betrayal because of no West Papua were invited in this called New York Agreement. That New York Agreement is a secret deal between three countries without any West Papua. So, and the signing New York Agreement to hold a referendum in West Papua in 1969. So that vote is a fraud because West Papua call act of no choice. Indonesia call act of free choice. And the Indonesian military directly involved uh, military operations from 1962 to 1967. And that also including Indonesia working with the US to sign over our resources called Freeport McMoran 1967 they signed. So act of free choice is just formality. And we never recognize the act of free choice because that is fraud and handpick thousands of elders, including one of them, my uncle called Wenda, one of them. So his weakness, what Indonesia did to us. Indonesia round them up in one camp and telling them when United Nations come, you just say uh, Indonesia. If you don't need to say uh, Papua. If you say Papua, we will kill you on the spot. Some of them killed, and some of elders are dropped from the helicopter onto the villages, and so then some of them cut the tongue out of the mouth and sow their villages. So the act of free choice, act of no choice, is Indonesia only legal claim. Um, so therefore, West Papua is under occupied, and under the international law, West Papua right to self-determination still exists. So since then, Indonesia committed genocide since 1963. So 500,000 men, women has been killed. This is figure is almost few 10 years ago, but now more increasing killing and land grabbing and genocide. Also, independent expert, Yale University and Sydney University also describe the West Papua is slow motion genocide. Even UN's genocide prevention UN mandates stated that 15 years ago stated that one of the West Papua is one of the among the 10 nations extinction slow genocide. So this is widely this the research by the scholars by the university that I mentioned. And then the Indonesia also uh, uh, brought the transmigration from the uh, uh, other island, for example, in Java, Sumatra, to Puring, to West Papua, fill the gap because is uh, West Papua is a 250 tribe. So land mass is bigger than second large after Greenland. So that's why Indonesia want our resources and fill the gap, bring them transmigration, and West Papua Black Indigenous people become minority in our own land. That's a little bit of history and background. West Papua is a occupied territory, currently occupied by Indonesia. So why I involve this fight? People talking about revolution. The revolution is something that you believe in, uh, and whether the liberation of the people who are oppressed or any fight. So it is something that you believe in. Something will change in your something that you believe. So why I have to involve this fight because my own story, 1977, my village was bombed and almost 7 years hiding in the bush from 1960, 1976 to 77 until 1983 I was hiding in the bush with my family, my father. Some of them, my uncle were killed. My auntie were raped in front of my eye. I couldn't, you know, forget until today. My auntie was passed away. Two auntie were raped in front of my eye. And 7 years in the bush, and I don't know why we hiding and why we are hiding. So after my grandparent was died and buried under the trees and number of family. And 1977 is a well-known event happening across the highlands. My tribe called Lani, and there is a number of tribe, inter-tribe like Walak tribe, Lani tribe, and Duga and Damal, Moni, and Amume, Kamoro. There's a widespread event, almost 7 years war by Indonesian military. Indonesia bombing with helicopter and hot jet and so to the toward the people of in the regions. I myself seen myself I seen one time my family came out on the place where airplane can see it. They thought it's a called missionary airplane, Cessna. They thought this is coming to help us, so they came out on the clear place and they're waving, help, 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 and then the drum bomb drop onto them. So everybody ran away, including myself. That was 1977. So this is the situation is still continue until today. in West Papua. So after that, 80, 90, 83, my father and my mom and took me to my village and they put me in the school and I went to school, I study. And so after study and my parent told me don't talk about independent or talk about where we were hiding, just continue to study. They took me to a place called Jayapura. So from there, I went to school. I study and then I went to political science in Jayapura. I study, but a very strange thing that when every time I trying to find out how West Papua become part of the Indonesia, because when we go out there, if you have a beer or you have a regular, you've been questioned, you've been asking, uh, and then also you can, be questioned or stopped by Indonesia police and military. So and even the elderly people who have a beer or they can't speak Bahasa properly, they can question, they beating up. And in front of my eyes, sometimes I seen it and I can't, stop it. I can't do anything because if I do anything, they will kill me or they will arrest me. So I carry on until one time I went to library. I trying to find out how West Papua become part of Indonesia because we dress like them, we dress like them, we speak like them, but why they do this? And then I remember what happened in my family. Almost we hiding in the bush, 7 years in the bush. And then I remember my auntie was raped, my uncle was being killed. So that is trigger everything, and then I finish graduate political science in Jaipura, and then I start thinking and join the demo. So after that, what happened was they call Papuan Spring. This is you may know the Suharto era. Suharto regime was almost 30 years ruling in across Indonesia. And West Papua is also scared to talk about West Papua. Even you cannot mention name of uh, Papua or West Papua. That's very dangerous. As soon as you say that, you will be arrested. So after that, across Indonesia, people are demanding the independent and great democracy, including East Timor and Aceh and Malukus. But particularly in West Papua, there is 100 team went to Jakarta and demand Indonesia government, we want to independent. And one of the president, Gus Dur, said, you go back and think. And then the 100 elder went back to West Papua and then they started mobilize our people. This is a this is the democracy we have to use. Collapse of Indonesia, we use this opportunity to declare ourselves to separate from Indonesia. So at the time, after graduate, I started mobilize our people across the islands, and then I started forming organization called DEMAC. Denmark is representing the Highlands people to support the Congress. There is the forming of the Presidium Dewan Papua. And we knew that this Presidium Dewan Papua, some of them we feel that collaborate with Indonesia, that Denmark supported but pro-independent radical pro-independent non-violent way to advocate for independence. We are not advocate for the uh, uh, special autonomy or dialogue, but we reject special autonomy and then promote independence. So then 2000, we were people are declared that this is the time. We raised the Morning Star flag and we did raise Morning Star flag, and that Morning Star flag and behind me If you holding this Morning Star flag, you will be killed or you will be arrested. That's why this flag is very dangerous if you raise this West Papua. Many people were killed just because of this Morning Star flag. So after support the Presidium de Papua forming in West Papua, and after that we this is the independent. This is something that people will see the flag and people will cry. And suddenly, 2001, November 2001, one of the leader called Ety, that Congress elected him as our leader, and we were supported. He was killed 1st of November 2001. He was killed and assassinated by Indonesia Special Force. So after that, they're looking for me. I was, leading and clandestinely, and then Indonesia knew that this is Benny is, radical, and but we will have to, arrest. So they arrest me 6th of June in Jayapura. I was arrested and tortured, and they put me very dark place. I couldn't with handcuff 2 weeks. Uh, is a police station. It's a solitary confinement for several months. The trial was, baseless, and the trial is almost. Uh, I always ended up argument with the lawyer, with the judge, with the prosecutor. And I'm a luckiest person because one of the lawyer called Jennifer Robinson sees weakness directly in West Papua. She attending every trial. She's now become my lawyer as well as Julian Assange lawyer as well. You may know that Jennifer Robinson. She's a very brave woman. At the time, she witnessed and at the end, because there is no evidence, no weakness, what my crime was, because of I'm leader of the movements and I'm leader of the DEMAC, the Koteka Tribal Assembly, and in the intelligent send a few Papuans pretending like they're visiting family, friends, but then some of Indonesia smuggle uh, other prisoner inside West Papua, inside the cell. They want to kill me 3 times. And then last minute, if I stay, I will be killed like Teis Eloi. Better I escape and then maybe they kill me. That's no problem. I don't want to kidnap and kill me in cold blood. So before 3 o'clock in night, they come to collect me or take me out from the prison. I managed to run away, escape, because I was helped by one of the guard is West Papuan. So he said, Benny, if you stay, you will be like Taste LY. I don't know how you do it, but I just let you know. And then he just walk away. And 3 o'clock in the morning, uh, in the night, they will come and get you. So I don't know. This is just pass you information, and that's make me, you know, uh, scared. And if I stay, I will be killed anyway. I'm a dead man anyway. So I break the ventilations and then I escape. I always watching the movie called American Prisoner Break. So I watching that movie and then I felt that's what I did. So that movie remind me of what I did in West Papua. So after I escaped and then I went to the crossed the border to Papua New Guinea and I got a help and then I came to United Kingdom and I claim asylum. But one thing that I left my daughter, Koteka Wenda, and my wife. I left them in behind. So so as soon as I claim here, and then I asked my friends if if I'm here safe, but my daughter and my wife will be arrested. So I really need my daughter and my wife. So then later on, my wife and my daughter came and joined me, and we claim asylum here in the UK. So I grateful to British government and British people to allow me to stay in this country and that freedom to use to campaign, continue to campaign for convince the world to our struggle is about the liberation of the situations. That's a little bit of my story, but I also want to highlight the current situation in West Papua. There is several massacre from Indonesia after Indonesia illegally occupied. The massacre started from the 1960 until today. Massacre everywhere, almost Panyai massacre, Biak massacre, Wamena massacre, and most every places. So currently 600,000 to 670,000 displaced. Um, in place called Intan Jaya, Puncak Jaya, and Duga, Mai Barat since 2018 up to now. And West Papua is become a military zone in the Asia Pacific. So massacre started since the Indonesia occupied West Papua. Recent massacre is last month alone. Last year is in place called Intan Jaya, and also last month Puncak Jaya, 15 Puncak Ilaga, 15 people were killed, and it's 2 weeks ago, and Dogia and six killed. This is Indonesian military targeting the young people, also children. Even today, I got a report from the Timika 2 days ago where most of the women and children were killed by Indonesian military. This is the target by the Indonesian military toward uh, young women and children, and many of them displaced, run away. So this is I call unequal war because uh, this is like a uh, David and Goliath unequal war. Indonesia bombing civilian used a drone and fighter jet, also a sniper, a missile, and you cannot win war with the bow and arrow and stolen gun, right? The stolen gun. There's a unequal fight because 60 years Indonesia committed genocide and ecocide. So internal displacement is increasing, and we're talking about also ecocide. Deforestation is currently taking place, is a large as deforestation are taking place. This is we are talking about world third large rainforest. I call a lung of the world. And West Papua is many resources. For example, gold, silver, nickel, copper, oil and timber, cocoa and gas. Uh, Place called Merauke is south of Merauke is West Papua, border between Papua New Guinea and West Papua. It's a rice and sugar plantation. This is the biggest deforestation project in human history, destroying area of size of Wales. This is I'm talking the size of Wales. Indonesia destroying it, and also Wabu Block is a gold mine size of Jakarta. Also, Grespec is a large gold mine, second large copper mine in the world, also most toxic mine in the world, whole world. For example, they're dumping 500,000 tons toxic slag of every day and destroy environment. So this is happening is while I'm talking still happening. So multinational corporations and military are working together one packet with Indonesia government, destroy lung of the world. So this is people talking about the environment, climate justice. Without West Papua support, I don't think, that we cannot fight for the, climate justice, because West Papua is a uh, reserve rainforest after Amazon and Congo. So sometime I, challenge the some activists, friends who are please talk about West Papua, because West Papua is very important, uh, uh, biggest, the second largest rainforest in the world. So that's talking about the eco side. And I, at the moment, my position as a president of the United Liberation Movement, we are not only victim, but we're also making a lot of progress for over the years. We are not just, victim and sitting, but they, as a people, rise up and themselves, and they want to show that outside world we are not only victim, but we want to show the world that we are ready. We want to govern our own affairs, so that we can preserve our rainforest being destroyed, our way of life, our culture, our environment. So we formed this called United Liberation Movement. Three factions are political faction in West Papua. We unite under the umbrella of the United Liberation Movement, supported by Vanuatu governments. Vanuatu government is a very brave, even small country, but they are big heart, and they have become like um, um, moral leader in the Pacific, and supported by the other Pacific Island country, Micronesia, Polynesia, Melanesia. But the West Vanuatu is outspoken about West Papua. So they invite everyone to come together. We formed the United Liberation Movements, and now we continue to working to gain our freedom. So in 2020, 2017, United Liberation Movement organized, first time ever, we want to show Indonesia government that referendum you claim 1969 is a fraud, a real one. We organized ourselves almost 1 year. We launched international supervised vote for independent in Westminster 2016. Then we collect the petition across the West Papua, 1.8 million. We presented to the United Nations in fourth committee. So that's first time. And then we also uh, uh, deliver that petition to Human Rights Council in Geneva. So that's we want to show Indonesia government this is real referendum. What you did was force. So that's what we did. And then also I was elected in the Congress November 20th, in almost 5,000 West Papuan come together, elected me as a previous I just a chairman of the United Liberation Movement, and 2023 people of West Papua come together Congress, first Congress ever in held in West Papua. They choose me as a president of United Liberation Movement provincial government. So this is we trying to build a capacity on the ground and making ULWP government in waiting. So ULWP is more than 2,300 official representatives around total, ranging from prime minister to president in regional executive all the way down to village level. So this is we are not only making demonstrations or sporadic, but we organize ourselves and the governments of waiting. So we approach, try to engage with the international community, also in international solidarity. We want to democratic governance, and we want to run our own affairs. Particularly, we also um, we want to show that first country that implement the Green State vision. We have a vision, we have a roadmap, we also have a structure in place so that the world need to trust, our solidarity need to trust, because when West Papua independent, we one of the first implemented the Green State vision we already launching in a few years ago in Glasgow. So that's our vision, and we hope that our solidarity, all the friends around the world, to support us so that we can implement the Green State. This is a real one. We are not only talking on the lift, but we want to implement our constitution based on our constitution, based on our mission. So this is really important. Relations UK in West Papua is really important that I want to highlight that UK is directly in complicit genocide and ecocide in West Papua. As you know, the recent report by Professor David White revealed that in headline a British company Link, Grasberg Mine, and Merauke Sugar Race and Project. UK cannot fight climate change while supporting ecocide and genocide and lung of the world. That is my argument. And deforestation is a British shareholder, including HSBC and Punditel and one called Legal and General are linking palm oil company driving world large deforestation project in Merauke. And people of Merauke are screaming, crying. And one film called Pig Fest. This is the film screening in Australia, in New Zealand, across Indonesia. Even yesterday, last few days, was Indonesia student trying to screen this film about what happened in Merauke. Indonesia military seized and stop it. So this is, Indonesian filmmaker by Indonesian activists. They done this, and then they trying to screen cross Indonesia. They already banned. So there is no freedom of expression. There is no freedom of movement in West Papua. But now in Jakarta itself, they can't, express and about the view of in West Papua situation. So in terms of mining, mining is uh, this is a link British institution including Barclays, SBCL, Wholesale, Freeport McMoran Corporation, also Grasberg, world large gold mine in this world, and dumping almost 300,000 tons. So this is, we're talking about oil and gas BP Tangu project facility as also displays local villages damaging, a mangrove forest and generate estimate 1.5 billion ton of carbon emission. So including the British export, continue to supply arm training Indonesia, supporting military cooperation and support. Uh, this is happening in front of our own eye, and also Indonesia training this military and police. They are they skill they use not the fight for the terrorism, but fighting for my people, my own people. Indonesia using all these military equipment, threatening my people. For example, East Timor case, Western made selling the weapons to East Indonesia government. Also, jet selling by European, including Britain. They sell to Indonesia. They use the kill massacre in East Timor. Same thing what happening in West Papua. Indonesia cannot trust it because they misuse all this training, for example, military or police. They use that skill to killing my people. They use their ammunition, weapon and including water cannon selling the Indonesia government. They're using this in West Papua. Last 2 weeks, West Papua students, 1st of May started now, Indonesia using tear gas with their poison. We use water cannon to West Papuan student, and this is I scared. Everybody's scared to protest peacefully because they're using with the tear gas with the poison in it. Some of them are eye blind. So this is West Papua and place called Manokwari just 2 days ago, biggest riot as well, just peacefully. So the situation in West Papua, current situation is becoming worse and worse since 2018 up to now. It's becoming worse and worse. A massacre everywhere. So that is the current situation. So I hope that fight for the West Papua is not easy. Nobody knows what happening in West Papua, what going on in West Papua. 50 years Indonesia banned journalists, uh, just like North Korea. This is uh, Indonesia get away with impunity because they be able to ban the journalists, Red Cross, Amnesty, all the NGO, even BBC, even ABC, Australia, not allow in West Papua. Why? That's the biggest question. Indonesia claimed a democratic country. Indonesia claimed that vibrant country. Why West Papua restricted? Other part of Indonesia, people can go freely, but why West Papua? That's a question. That's why my argument, Indonesia committed ecocide, a genocide, that's this is real. So that's why they don't want to outside world to know what happening, what going on in West Papua. Uh, so I hope that you know West Papua's struggle is not only political freedom, but about our struggle about preserve our culture, our identity, our way of life, and our forest. Our forest is our supermarket. We always call our supermarket. In Europe you have a supermarket, and but we West Papua, particularly all the indigenous people, whether you are in Amazonian or West Papua, supermarket West forest is our supermarket. So yeah, I think that's I want to say about current situation, my story. Thank you for listening my story and my people's story. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Benny, for coming on today and for sharing your story with us. Um, I was wondering now, like, if maybe we could open up the floor if people have questions, for Benny, if that would be okay with you.
Yes, I'm happy to. Yes.
Yeah. I saw like Alexander has a question in the chat. Would you like to unmute and ask it, or do you want me to read it out?
Uh, Hi, Benny. Thank you for sharing this kind of painful story. And I'm sorry for experiencing all that in your life. So basically, my question is, well, sorry for my ignorance. I didn't know before you kind of explain part of my ignorance that I always thought that part of that archipelago was living in more like a Hawaiian life without, far from any kind of disturbance, which is far from truth. So, how is this not more in the news? Is my first question. And well, you're now in the UK, so means like my second question is not that valid, but like many other people are in danger of speaking out, probably in the West Papua. And my question is, okay, there is some involvement of UK, private companies and the government in what's happening there. what about the policies of other Western forces? Like, what's the policy of Australia, Europe, Canada, USA? Uh, have you got any kind of support? Do you have any kind of superpower? I don't know, even China, like to turn to create some kind of allies and like anyone that would kind of help you in your struggle. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. Thank you very much. First question about the nobody knows is because Indonesia is blocking media. They banned the media. That is, as you know, the Amnesty, Red Cross, totally banned in West Papua. Even Oxfam also banned, and journalists, ABC, BBC, as I mentioned, they're totally banned in West Papua, restricted almost 50 years. 50 years, journalists are banned. So that's a very difficult to get the news out, and even the journalists can't go, the official one, they can't go. But the East Timor case is very different because some of the journalists, including John Pilger, was there. He covered the news and then people finding out what happened. In West Papua case, we've been isolated rest of the world. That is a difficult one. That's why Indonesia get away with impunity. In terms of support, yes, we have you may know that we have our international parliamentarian for West Papua, led by the Alex Obel, the Labour MP from Leeds. So he's what leading, and we have across the world, from Ireland to Spain and European parliamentarian, Australia, New Zealand, and also we have Pacific as well. This is in terms of the interparliamentarian group. But the big power like America or China is very difficult because you have a connection that you can, you can have a chance to meet, but very difficult. The UK government, they do support the UN High Commissioner visit for West Papua. This is questioned by the all-party parliamentarian for West Papua in Westminster. We have an international parliamentarian. So Alex Obel questioned the government regarding their position because we have 105 countries supporting United Nations UN High Commission visit to West Papua. This is endorsed by the Pacific Island Forum and also OICP organization called Africa Caribbean. They support UNI Commission visit. So at that level, we have working with this organization, inter-organization, the UN member country. But Indonesia reluctant to allow UN High Commissioner to visit West Papua. That's the biggest obstacle we're facing because there is no pressure. So pressure need coming from solidarity group to put pressure on the government level from the intergovernment level. That really help because sometimes politicians they're talking but nobody knows. That's it. So we need the pressure from the solidarity group, just like extension rebellions or any organization could put pressure on the national governments or international solidarity. That really help. Um, but as I mentioned, big power like America and Britain very difficult sometimes because they're more thinking about their trade and geopolitics rather than talking about the liberation struggle. It's very difficult.
Thank you. Thank you so much for answering.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any more questions for Benny? Yeah, Phil?
Hi, Benny. Thank you very much for sharing your stories.
Thank you.
It is very must be difficult to listen to such a violent and appalling history.
Mm.
Where is well, a few questions. Where's the best place to keep up with the news on West Papua? How have you been able to have a liberation movement under such difficult conditions? Can people organise meetings without the violence from the Indonesian soldiers? Um, and what would you say to people, activists in this country who have so much more freedom to act uh, politically in this country?
Thank you. Thank you, Phil. Yes, I think it says West Papua is very difficult, even restricted, but I think the people of West Papua, they choose to free themselves from the Indonesia colonialism. So there is a many student movements, organizations, all small and big. For example, KNPB, Committee National West Papua. Also, we have Alliance of Papua Students. We have the many groups are put themselves at risk. They come out on the street peacefully. They're sending out through even the Indonesia banned the media, but they send out the message through the social media and upload themselves on the spot, the live, and even they sacrifice the life. Even they put their face, they don't care because to the oppress is with the military power, they cannot, give up, and they just come out on this spontaneity. They push themselves to bravely. I always say this is a revolution. Even the military presence in West Papua is more than people, because the West Papua population, I just want to reiterate this population. Population in Papua New Guinea 1970 is 50-50. Papua New Guinea now 12 million something. Then West Papua is 2 million. Rest the migrant. So why is 6 million gone? Because the Indonesia, kill. So since then, the number, even size of the island, same, people are similar, population similar, but the others decrease. West Papua population decrease, decline. Papua New Guinea grow just because of Indonesia massive militarization in pouring in West Papua and killing continue. So people are, as I said, people are coming out on the street bravely. Even, yesterday before the biggest riot in Manokwari, a student demanded withdrawal of the military from West Papua and peacefully then ended up with the tear gas and chased them up here, there. So how you find the information? We have a website called Free West Papua Campaign, and you can look up to the www.freewestpapuacampaign.org. There's information available there. And we have also Twitter and Facebook, Free West Papua Campaign Facebook. They're up to date, every news up to date. So also we have, we need the solidarity. We need a friend, long-term friend and short-term friend. And, you can host the events or anything you can do, like organize demonstrations. And sometimes, our solidarity in London also hold a protest in, for example, in BP office, or you know, Rio Tinto office, just so that we here, you can't hide what you are doing in West Papua is operating middle of the genocide. Sometimes they said we are business, but indirectly or you directly you are supporting, and this is a taxpayer money you use that, fund Indonesia to kill West Papua, another human being. So yeah.
Do you? Thank you. Do you have? Do you look at activists in the UK and think that we don't do enough because we're not actually facing the threat of death, whereas your people are, and we have to make use of the freedoms we have in this country. Do you some have any thoughts about that?
Yes, I think, yeah, anything you can, is sometimes very difficult because every organization busy with their own campaign, own things. So it's sometimes very difficult. But I really, really do need support, and, at the individual way or through the organizations, any organization could, support. For example, just simple message, uh, all these deforestation project, for example, in the deforestation project are run by the Indonesian military in Merauke, for example. People are need support. People in West Papua need, or stop, mining in Wabu Block. Wabu Block is one of the maybe second large gold mine are already run by the invest by Indonesian military, and they have become agents. And this is another apart from the Freeport McMoran, Grassback mine. So this is the other half of the Grassback mine at other mountain are now trying to digging. So also, we have a BP in West Papua as well, and then Rio Tinto are working together with Indonesian military, and without any, consequence that human right, uh, violations are committed. But Indonesia military themselves create the violence near the mine, for example, in Timika. Just now I'm talking already. There is a number of children also were shot, and the women and men, elderly men are killed. I just posted my Twitter. If you go to Twitter, my Twitter, you will see all the information up to date. Benny Wenda Twitter. So we really need solidarity. Remind the British government, for example, or European governments who are dealing with Indonesia. We know that European Union now they signed the free trade agreement with Indonesia. You cannot trust the Indonesian government. They are destroying the planet Earth. Rainforest in deforestation project is massive. Not only West Papua, but in Sumatra, Kalimantan, across Indonesia. So that's up to, our solidarity to choose which one they want to support. I think this is a peacefully way. We really need solidarity to speak out about, because we are like me. I'm talking about these people. You are foreigner. You are, and you are a European. So they listen. Your government will listen to you because more than, like people like us.
Thank you.
May I ask, I was just Googling, so in Western Papua, you have internet and mobile network with VPN and modern technology, especially with, I don't know, Tesla Dish and those kind of technology. How is not possible to kind of like break that wall of we haven't done anything for the Gazans, but at least they kind of broke that media wall and then exposed the truth to entire world. and it's a shame of the world that we haven't done anything. So in that sense, is it possible for West Papuans to kind of expose more of the crimes of what's going on there with the modern technology?
Yes, Alexander, yes. It's new generation. They are very clever, very, very clever because they are millennial. So they expose everything from mobile phone. That's why Indonesia cannot stop it. 1 minute happened in West Papua, we already got the information. Of course, in professional journalists might say, "Oh, there is no, this is not a one-side story or unbalanced story," but our people are sending out from the source, from the ground directly to us, and the communicator. I almost 24 hours talking with my people because meeting every event, every riot happen. Sometimes I get, message middle of night. So they send all the news through the social media. Also, they upload themselves Twitter, TikTok, also Facebook. So Indonesia cannot stop it. Even they stop, but other person can upload. So that's what's happening. So yeah, it really helped this social media.
So if there is a single, like a lesson you would like to kind of give us more as a like a silver lining in your fight and for all the other activists around the world, what would that be?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this is really important because people really need solidarity and every struggle, because that now is a modern world. World is changing, and we need the solidarity. We need the friend. Of course, big power now. They go a different direction, but activists and solidarity are, is important because. Uh, World is changing because of solidarity, because of activists, because of people like Roger. Is like he's believing something, and I really admire. I follow a few times, and that's why for me it's like, all of you revolution and never happen themselves. Human being can make the revolution, then the government can listen. Otherwise, we stuck. There's never change. So that's why West Papua issue is isolated, but uh, now I'm speaking to you as you are the voice of the voiceless people, and you have courage. And I know that extensive rebellions already changed, global perspective, even national and international, and I follow that. So I think all the solidarity need to be behind West Papua and pick their interests, what kind they support. For example, holding demo, protest in the BP, for example, or Rio Tinto, for example, because their involvement in West Papua is a support by Indonesian military. We know that they have become an agent, military become agent. So destroy these forests, destroy the all these multinational cooperation between Indonesia and the cooperation. They're working together one packet. So I think we need the voice for pick the one your interest, then you can focus on that to support. Little way is important, whether in Kalimantan or Sumatra, but in West Papua it's very difficult. But I just put out there. So uh, if any information detail will my assistant will to provide. So what they need to do be done. Thank you.